Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining us. My name is Anna coming to you live from TA in Kitchener, and today I have a very special guest with me, Marsha from Whirlpool, and she's going to take you through everything you need to know when you're buying laundry.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay, so just to start things off, one of the most common questions I get when I talk to customers is, what's better, top load or front load? And the real answer to that is whatever you're going to use best and whatever suits your laundry lifestyle the best. But there are some guidelines and there are some things that you should ask yourself or talk to your salesperson about to make sure you're making the right choice and getting the right machine for you and your family. So let's just jump right in and talk a little bit about why somebody might want top load. And if you tuned into our last live event or have watched some of the videos on the webpage, you'll see that this is a machine we talked about before. It's our new Pet Pro laundry from Maytag. And one of the great things about this is that it's the only filter in the market, the only top load that has a filter that allows you to have water pushed through this, removing pet hair from your clothes into this filter. It removes up to 5 times more pet hair than just doing laundry alone. So this is a really great option for customers that might have pets, cats, dogs, gerbils, horses, whatever kind of pet you have. This is a really great option. But it is a top load machine in general. And some of the things that people like about top loads is that it's a little bit more familiar. This is probably what your mom had or your grandma had, so it may be a little bit more familiar for you. And it's generally tends to be on the more affordable side. So when you get into front loads, they can be a little bit more of a price tag than your top loads. But we do have some really premium top loads as well that offer the customer a lot of bells and whistles and different features and cycles and options that really help to get the best performance for you. So let's talk a little bit about some of the changes that have been made in the top load washer industry. A lot of times now when I talk to customers about top load laundry versus front load laundry, one of the questions will be, well, I'm not sure about this top load laundry because it doesn't fill up with water anymore. And that is true. It isn't like your mom's or your grandma's old laundry machine that fills up with water and sloshes around in there. You're just not going to see that anymore. And there's a couple of reasons for that. But the main one is that there was some pretty strict energy guidelines put into place in Canada quite some time ago that all the washing manufacturers had to comply with. So we had to figure out how to take a machine that used to fill up with water. That's how it worked. It filled up with water, it floated your clothes up, and then it created a laundry rollover where the laundry moved in like this, and then it beat against the agitator. So floated and beat. Floated and beat. So that's how those old school laundry machines worked. But with these energy guidelines and the water restriction guidelines that we had to comply with, now we have to figure out a different way for laundry to work in a top load machine. So what we did was we created a low water wash system that creates more like a bloom. That's what we like to call it. It's called a bloom. It looks like a flower. So so instead of floating up and beating down, your clothes now roll over like this. And if it's in an impeller system, it will create clothes on clothes friction in the laundry tub. And if it has an agitator set like this, it will still do that clothes on clothes friction. It just has an added agitator there to give it a different, to add to the rollover there. But this is a clothes on clothes friction. So it needs very little water to work. And that's really how it works. So to get the most out of a top load laundry machine today with the low water wash system, it's going to be really important as the home user to tell the machine what you're doing. So is it jeans, heavy duty, whites, colors, quick wash, delicates, towels, you name it. It's going to be important that you tell it what to do and that you do a little bit more separation with your laundry. And here's a couple of reasons why. Is there a question?
Yeah. Do you fit more of the top load versus the front load?
No, that will always it will always be dependent on the cubic feet space. The only thing you have to be mindful of with loading your top load is it has to be loaded below the ring, so like below here. So if you try to top it up to there, you're going to have poor performance. So you want to make sure that it's like not stuffed more than that. But you have those same requirements with top load as well. You don't, or front load. You don't want to overstuff. Okay, that's poor performance no matter if it's top load or front load. But you will, I would say, get a little bit more usable space in a top load that does not have an agitator. And we're going to look at one of those in just a minute. Okay. So back to choosing your correct laundry cycle. There's a couple key examples that I give for this. So if you chose, what's the one that everybody chooses, which is maybe heavy duty or bulky items, colors, quick wash, whatever. Choosing the right cycle changes the wash arms, right? So when I choose bulky items or towels, the system knows that I've got large pieces of fabric in there, and it's going to change the wash system so that it's not short and quick, which could bundle up the fabric. It's going to be longer and a little slower to get those large pieces of fabric moving and clean. So cycle selection is important, along with separating your laundry a little bit more. So I would do towels separately from socks and underwear, or I would do sheets separately from like t-shirts and pajamas or something like that, just so that I can get the most out of the cycles in my machine and I get the right wash action for the type of fabric that I'm doing. So that's some of the key things with choosing a top load. Okay.
So is it true that agitators can be damaging to delicate fabrics?
So that's a bit of a misconception. So there, again, I think back in the day when we used an agitator type wash, when we were using that agitator to actually beat the clothes kind of, I think there was a little bit more, it was a more aggressive cycle, and it definitely was harder on your fabrics. In this new system, even though there's an agitator in there, it's designed to help the water flow and the rollover of the clothes. So you're actually still getting a clothes on clothes friction, which is much kinder and gentler to your clothes. So today's agitators are much more fabric friendly than our agitators in the past.
All right, awesome.
Great questions, guys. These are great. Keep them coming. So just before we move off of this system to another top load system that I want to talk to you about, I just want to remind you that this new pet system is brand new for Maytag. When you activate the Pet Pro cycle, first of all, it's adorable because you're going to have a little paw come on, but it is going to activate a cycle that's going to help to remove up to 5 times more pet hair from your fabric in your washing machine. Normally pet hair comes off in the dryer, but now that we can get more out of the dryer, we're going to get even more out of the washer. We can get even more out of the dryer, eliminating up to 80% of pet hair off your fabrics in the wash cycle, which is great for you pet owners out there.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible.
Exactly, right? I think, everybody loves their pets. Everybody hates their pet hair when they have it all over their clothes,
exactly.
Right? So
I have a few lint rollers stashed away.
Exactly. And then also, before we move over to another pair, I just want to remind you that we have a promo running right now. So with every qualifying pair of laundry, you're going to receive an extra $100 off, and you'll receive a year's supply of Swash laundry soap for the purchase of Whirlpool or Maytag laundry systems.
And this is just so cool, the way this bottle is designed. So normally with your laundry soap that you have at home, I have it at home, it has the cap on it. You fill the cap, you pour the cap into the laundry, and then you have this cap that's dripping with detergent. But with this cap, it auto-fills the amount that you need, and you can just dump it out.
So when you pour it out, it's not going to pour out. You have to squeeze it to get the liquid out, and it's going to dose perfectly in 11 milliliters is exactly what we want.
Yeah,
yes.
That's so awesome.
It's like having a regulator on. If you go to a bar and they give you a shot, it's like having a regulator on that. Oh, maybe a little less fun, but still. It does keep you from over pouring, which is a really big problem for not only machine maintenance, but for fabric care, right?
Yeah, we were talking about this earlier, and you were saying that if you can smell fabric on your, or the cleaner
Yeah.
on your clothes, it means that you've used too much, and
Yes.
it can actually be damaging to your fabric.
Yeah, this is a common misconception. People will think that perhaps their machine isn't doing a good job or something's wrong because when they take their fabrics out, it doesn't smell nice like the soap. That actually means your machine's doing a fabulous job because it's gotten all the soap out of the fabrics. If your fabrics still smell like fabric soap or detergent, it means you have detergent in your fabrics. So we want your clothes to smell nice and neutral, like nothing essentially, and that means you've got all the fabric, the detergent out of your fabrics.
And before we move on, we did have one question about how do you clean your washer and dryer?
Yeah, cleaning your washer and dryers is really easy. Through Whirlpool brand, we do have a product called a Fresh. These are just little pucks. If you open this up, it's a little puck. Once a month, depending on how often you do laundry, you can just put this in here and run a normal cycle or a hot cycle, and you're going to have a nice clean machine. Now, it's good to wash or clean all of your machines, but this is especially important for front loads. So what's different about a top load is that you don't have a sealed system here, right? You actually, when it's closed, do still have airflow around here because you're not going to have water dripping out, right? Like it's just designed differently, so you're not having water dripped out. So you actually by default have natural airflow in a top load, so you're not going to worry about odors and smells and stuff like that as much as you would in a front load. So a front load, it's really important to use this as well. But what people don't know is that all of the fabric softener and the detergents and everything like that, especially if they have a heavy hand with pouring, it's actually going to start to collect, not in the tub that you can see, but it's going to start to collect on the inner tub, right? So behind here. And that's where you really start to get odors and stuff like that. Bacteria builds up and it starts to create smells. And this is where a Fresh or something like it will really come in handy. It starts to take down that buildup that could happen on the inner tub. One more really important note is that most of us are washing in cold waters today, right? We've really learned our lesson. We buy the cold water detergents, and we really understand that cold water is good for us and the environment. But now and again, it's really good to run a hot water cycle through your machine. This really helps detergents to break down any of those buildups that might happen. The hot water really helps to break it down and to keep it from building up over time. So I always recommend, if you're doing your towels, do them in hot. If you're doing your sheets, do them in hot, and that will really help to keep the buildup to a real minimum.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We had a couple more questions. Is this hyperallergenic?
I don't think it's classified as hyperallergenic, but it is scent-free. But I don't know if there's a specific classification that you might need to have for that.
And then one more question. If you're running a load, you forget to add some clothes, can you put them in halfway through?
Not halfway through. It's going to give you a grace period. Here's the reason for that, because a lot of people wonder why that is. So remember at the beginning I told you that these machines really rely on a low water wash to create that hand washing type action. So that means that the machine itself is weighing and measuring the clothes when you put them in here. So you put your clothes in and you select your cycle and you hit start. What's going to happen, it's going to move the laundry around and weigh and measure it without water. Then it's going to add a little bit of water, weigh and measure, add a bit more water, weigh and measure, because it's trying to get a feel for not only how many clothes you have in here, weight-wise, but also what kind of fabrics there is, if it's really absorbent, if it's not absorbent, right? So it gives the laundry pair a feel for what you're washing. So if it's done all that work and it's going to put the perfect amount of water in to get that perfect wash, if you then add 4 more sweaters in there, that's going to really throw off the sensing that it's already done. So that's why after a period of time, it's going to lock.
Okay. Oh, it locks.
Yes.
So you don't have an option.
You do not. No, you can't do that. So it will lock when it goes into the washing cycle after that weigh-in sensor has been done.
Oh,
yes.
okay.
And that's true for front loads as well, because everything is on a weigh and measure. All of our systems, not only us, but I think a lot of manufacturers in the industry have gone to this weigh and measure type of system. So you don't choose the size of your load anymore. Right. And some people are like, why don't I choose the size of my load anymore? Well, because the machine is doing that all for you, because it's putting in the perfect amount of water for the clothes you have. So these are great questions.
Awesome. That makes so much sense.
Yeah. Any other questions that are coming out there?
I think someone actually asked, are they all the same size on the inside?
No, there will be different sizes, and that's usually part of the step-up story. So if you're looking to have more volume, then there's usually a model that you can step up into. Yeah.
Okay, excellent. And just a reminder, it is our special for you today, just for tuning in, is $100 off eligible pairs, plus a year's supply of Swash, plus TA has their own Black Friday deals going on, where if you spend over $999, you get your choice of a free espresso maker or air fryer. So great deals.
Awesome. So let's go look at some other laundry machines and talk a bit more about what might be best for you. So come on over here. So for those of you who are still saying, well, I don't know, do I want an agitator? So maybe you still know you want top load, but you're not sure if you want an agitator or if you want an impeller. This is a great model for you. It's our WTW 8127. It's going to give you the best of both worlds, right? So if you take a look on inside here, you can see that we have a 2-in-1 removable agitator.
Oh.
So for when you want to have clothes done on the agitator, maybe you have smaller clothes, maybe you have want to do a slightly more aggressive wash action, you can leave that agitator in there. For when you're doing a large comforter or more volume of clothes, you might want to take that out, and you simply squeeze and turn. And this agitator is going to come right out of the system. So there's a couple of cool things to note. If you look at the bottom, this is that closing mechanism there. And if you can bring the camera down into the bottom, you can see that this is a spring-loaded system. So it pops back up when you take it out. So you can't actually get anything caught in there. There's no clothes that are going to get caught in there. And then when you want to use this back, all you do is put this back in again.
Awesome. So lots of options.
Yeah. So for that customer who's like, well, like some days I would really like to do more gentle loads or like larger loads with my king size comforter or something. Great. Take that agitator out, put those clothes in there. You get a little bit more volume. But for other days, maybe you want that agitator in there, pop it in, and Bob's your uncle, right? Excellent. No choices to be made. Everything is all in one. In this unit specifically, like the Pet Pro we just looked at, we do have a dispensing system. So if you don't have a sink in your laundry room, or you like doing your pre-soaking or your stain removal in the laundry machine, you can do that by activating the spout here. Water is going to come out here, and you can do a stain treatment.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So on both this model and the Pet Pro that we just looked at, it has that stain removal section here. This one has an added section. It's the stain removal accessory here, where this gets filled up with soap or stain removal detergent. And you can see here that it's got some silicone bristles, and then it's got the pump release. So if you are, have a stain on your shirt or whatever, you can just give it a little stain removal, work with the spout here, and then just pop that back in.
It's so handy.
Yeah. It keeps it really all contained. Again, especially for those laundry rooms that don't have a sink, or you don't want to do it in the sink. Maybe you've used the sink for painting or something, so you prefer just to do everything in here.
Right.
This is a great option. So this is our 2-in-1 agitator system, and this is through the Whirlpool brand.
Does it have a quick wash?
It does have a quick wash, yes, and they're usually about 25 to 30 minutes for about a 3-pound load.
Okay.
So only use the quick cycle when you really need that outfit for tomorrow, or you need that jersey, or you need that, dance outfit, or whatever it is, because it is meant for a smaller load, not for every load that you do.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Otherwise, you just won't get the performance. We talked about, making sure you're telling the machine what you're loading and that you separate, because you want to get the best performance, right? So that's a really key, important thing. So on this machine, you're going to see something else as well. So in the Maytag, you saw the knob, but on Whirlpool, you're going to get a what to wash, how to wash system. So this is also kind of cool because it asks the homeowner 2 basic questions. What are you washing? Is it regulars, bulky items, delicates, towels, etc.? So pretty easy question to answer, right? And then it's going to say, okay, now I know what you're washing. How do you want to wash this? Do you want to wash it as a normal load, wrinkle control, heavy duty, quick, cold wash, etc.? So this really helps the machine to make the best cycle for what you're washing. And as a homeowner, so when I look at this, when I have the what to wash, how to wash, that gives me 36 different cycles.
Yeah.
But it's only asking me 2 basic questions, right? If I was a homeowner and I had 36 cycles to choose from, I'd lose my mind. I would be paralyzed by fear, and I would just always choose normal. Right? But being asked these 2 basic questions, I'm going to get the best fabric care by answering those.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And what colors does this pair come in?
This pair comes in the chrome shadow, like you see here, and then of course classic white.
Classic white.
The Pat Pro that we were looking at before, that was a new color. I should have spent a bit more time talking about that. It was a new color called Volcano Black, and it's got that matte finish, but that also comes in a white.
Is the white matte as well?
No, it's a gloss.
Nice.
Yes, a gloss finish.
Excellent.
So that's a little bit about top load. So then some of you might be asking, okay, well then why would I buy front load? Well, let's go over and take a look at a front load pair here. So why don't we look at this set? Maybe this one right here. That's the dryer. So with front loads, I spent a bit of time talking about how the actual wash action in a top load has changed, right? So, we can't do this float beat system. We have to do that laundry bloom, that low water wash system. Well, one of the reasons why people liked front loads way back in the day is the fact that they've always been a low water wash system. So they use less water, less energy because of the way that it works with gravity, right? So how this works is you fill the clothes up. Again, it's going to weigh and measure the clothes. It's going to put in exactly how much water it needs for this particular load. And then in the process of spinning that load, gravity works with a front load. So as the clothes get thrown up, they fall down and they scrub against each other. So it's actually creating this hand washing type action in the rollover of the front load. Okay, so it's always been the lowest wash, the most energy efficient, the option that we've had in the marketplace. There is some resistance to top load or to front load in some cases because in the very first iteration of front loads in North America, there were some issues with odors and there's some other issues with it. Just, kind of created a bad taste in people's mouths, or they kind of put it into a negative light. But a lot of changes have been made to front load washing machines since it was first introduced about 20 years ago, right? So some of the things you'll notice is that all of the rubber gaskets are made with antimicrobial material. So if you do get anything trapped in there or whatever, before you get a chance to clean it out, you're not going to get those odor buildups like you would in the past and that sort of thing. We better understand how to use the front loads. We know that it's always good to leave this open to crack. Again, because this is a sealed system, right? Because water is flowing through there, this needs to be sealed. Therefore, if you close it when the laundry is done, it's still going to be a sealed closed system, right? Which is a much better environment for bacteria to grow and odors to start to process, right? Another thing that customers like to do is just keep their drawer open a little bit. Again, this just creates air flow through the whole system. So we've learned that there's some things that we can do, not only from construction perspective, but how we use it, that really makes the front load experience really good. So why would I want a front load over a top load? Well, some people like it ergonomically, so they find it easier to pull their clothes in and out of the laundry machine. They also really like that they don't really have to worry about how they've loaded the machine to worry about, uneven loads or making sure that they've got the fabric all in their top loads perfectly. This is a little bit more forgiving, if you will, around how you load it and what you load it with. Okay, so I would say that if you're somebody who really has no interest at all in separating clothes and choosing different cycles, then a front load might be something that you want to consider. Okay. Maintenance with your front load becomes a little bit more important as well, because for all those reasons, we talked about it being a closed sealed system. So this is where running hot load cycles every now and again and using a fresh laundry cleaner or some other type of laundry cleaner is going to be really important for a sealed system to make sure that any of that product that could be building up on the inner tub isn't building up on that inner tub. So it's staying clean and clear. So is now the time to talk about not overpouring your laundry soap, people? Because if you're using a full cup of whatever detergent you're using, please begin to use half of that and then probably half again, because you're only really helping the detergent companies, not your fabrics, and certainly not your machine. We want to really minimize the pour. In a regular 2 times concentrate, in an average load of laundry, you should only be using about an ounce of laundry detergent.
Oh, wow.
Yes. I know. Everybody says that. Oh, my goodness, I'm pretty sure I'm overpouring, right? And like you said before, like if your clothes smell like laundry detergent, it means you have laundry detergent in your clothes. And that's where you start to get skin issues. You can have, sensitivities. So we really want you to use less laundry soap and make sure that it's coming all out. Okay. How you might also see this in your laundry is there'll be times when I talk to customers all the time and they'll say, oh, it's so annoying because the machine will say, oh, approximately 8 minutes left. And I come back 8 minutes later and it still says approximately 8 minutes left, right? And sometimes the reason for that is there's so much buildup of soap in the clothes and you're overpouring that the machine senses that there's still suds in there and will need to do another rinse in order to remove that. So sometimes that's due to overpouring and too much soap residue in your clothes. So stop overpouring.
Or use the swash with the pre-measured caps.
Use your swash with your pre-measured caps. And then also just, it's a mentality switch that more is not more. In this case, less is more. And pay attention to your concentration sizes. When you do choose a laundry detergent like swash, it's highly concentrated, right? It's 10 times concentrate. That's why you need so little, right? But, Tide or Gain or something like that is 2 times concentrate. So yes, you need a little bit more, but not 2 capfuls, right? So just make sure that you're thinking through how much soap they use. Yeah.
Awesome. And what is the warranty?
It's a 1-year manufacturer warranty, and then of course TA offers excellent, extensive warranties as well.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Do you have any other questions?
Any other questions coming through? Awesome. So, summary. In all your machines, please clean them regularly. And, I'm using a Fresh as an example. It is my Whirlpool branded product that we use. Do you have to use this? No, but use something like it. You can find great recipes on Pinterest or on, internet or whatever. But the key is that, some people just use vinegar, and that's great for like odors and stuff. But where you really want to do is get some sort of very mild abrasive, so like a baking soda or something like that. So make sure the recipe you're looking for at some points uses a mild abrasive as well. Okay. There's other brands for this, but I personally use the Fresh all the time, and I like it. It gives my machine a nice clean smell every month or so that I use it. So clean your machines. Use hot cycles once in a while. It helps to break down any buildup that you might have. Stop overpouring your laundry soap. If you're trying to decide between front load and top load, really be honest with yourself about how you load the machine and how your family might load the machine. Do you separate by fabric, not just by colors, but by fabric type? Because if you do, then top load's a great option for you. If you don't and can't be bothered, then maybe consider a front load, right? Is ergonomics important to you? Does it feel better to you to bend over and put the laundry in the machine, or does it feel better to you to take the laundry out of a tub? And that's going to be a personal choice, right? But those are some of the reasons why people will choose front load over top load. Any other questions?
Oh, are the doors reversible?
The doors are reversible on so front loads, the doors are reversible on dryers, but not on washing machines. And again, the reason for that is because they are sealed systems. So we just have to do things a little bit differently. Yeah.
And does Whirlpool offer like pedestals for?
Yes.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. So any front load system. So this is showing it sort of like in a stacked unit. So it's a washer on the bottom, dryer on top. And this is how you can put it in your laundry room. But if you prefer them side by side on a pedestal, absolutely, those can be sold as well. Yes.
Awesome. So there's less bending over.
Yes, exactly. So as we, get a little older and we don't want to bend down so far, putting those up on pedestals is great. And then the pedestals give you a little bit of storage in your laundry room as well.
Oh,
so
that's
for
awesome.
Detergents or anything else you might be using. So
That's great. I didn't realize they were drawers.
Yeah, they are drawers. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, so it gives you a little bit more storage as well, right? Yes.
Okay,
Any other questions for me today?
Okay.
Awesome.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you so much, Marsha.
Anytime.
I definitely learned a lot today about laundry that I didn't know before. And remember, today only, just for watching, we have a special offer where you get $100 off eligible laundry pairs plus a year of swash. And TA also has our Black Friday specials on, where if you spend over $999, you receive a free air fryer or a free espresso machine. So now is the time to buy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in.